Williston, North Dakota is a stone's throw from Montana and Canada, wedged into the northwest corner of the state. Living here has always tested the human spirit.
This is not an easy place to live. This is an awful harsh climate up here. People who stayed here for a reason.
Dan Kalile is a third-generation Williston farmer and rancher. This is the third oil boom he has lived through, because the previous two went bust.
The smart guys know that this is a boom and bust cycle. The smart guys know how risky it is to do business here.
All around Williston, business is being done. The derricks are everywhere, pumping oil from the massive Bakken formation lying underneath. Also everywhere, man camps, seemingly pushed into any available nook and cranny. Some look like mobile home parks that simply appeared on the landscape. There is a lot more happening here. Telltale signs this area has completely changed from what it was.
25 years ago I ran a drug task force and we were whooping and hollering when we brought in an ounce of meth. Now we're bringing in pounds.
Williams County Sheriff Scott Bushing has a problem, actually a couple of problems, beginning with organized crime.
We have evidence of Mexican mafia drugs coming up here.
Drugs from Mexico are trafficked to Billings, Montana and Denver, Colorado, then into Williston. But the Mexican mob isn't all.
Apparently we have a new chapter of Sons of Silence, which is an outlaw motorcycle gang. So we're keeping an eye on that too.
And those motorcycle gang members may have carried out a contract killing in Williston. It is still under investigation, but crime is on the rise. 5 years ago, the county built a new 132-bed jail. Their figures showed it would take 50 years for it to ever be full.
We've been in it 4 years. We're full. We're looking at expanding. We're looking for adding beds to the jail.
Williston's averaging one murder every 90 days. Not bad for a big city, but tough for a town that had once been small but is not anymore. The obvious sign of that is the traffic. It has 2 speeds here, horrifyingly quick with semis and oil trucks dodging and weaving around you, and frustratingly slow. The roads here weren't built to handle this much traffic.
This is a huge number of people trying to get everywhere at the same time.
There's one spot just west of town out here. They had 29,000 crossings in a 24-hour period. 40% of those were semis.
In 2008, the Williams County Sheriff's Department responded to 115 car crashes. Last year, that number was 700. This year, 500 so far. It's not just organized crime, drugs, and traffic safety plaguing this area. So is inflation, high prices for the things everyone wants. At the grocery store, the cheapest eggs are $2 a dozen. Every variety of milk is more than $4 a gallon. The rent for a 2-bedroom apartment, $2,200 a month.
And you're probably getting a pretty good deal at $2,200.
Yeah.
A lot of them are going to be more than that at 2-bedroom. $2,500 would probably be my sense of what a normal 2-bedroom is going to go for here, average.
For 20 years, Ward Koser has been Williston's mayor. He likes what the oil business has been able to do.
We have low unemployment, people are making a lot of money, the economy is very, very strong.
Koser admits housing prices are way too high. The city has approved the construction of hundreds of new apartments, but the local unemployment rate is less than 1%, and 4,000 new jobs are being created every year.
Last year, Williston generated for the state $3.5 billion of taxable sales.
It is big money. For 2013, the city of Williston is on pace to issue $500 million in new building permits. New construction is everywhere. You can't throw a rock and not hit a new business. But this town isn't the town it was just 5 years ago. Before the boom, 12,000 people lived in Williston. Listen to how Sheriff Bushing answered us when we asked how many people live here now.
I have no idea how many are here, but it's a hell of a lot more than 12,000.
And Mayor Koser when we asked him what the city is doing to diversify the economy so their area doesn't have all its eggs in one basket.
So to get a manufacturing company to move here now is nearly impossible because they're saying we're going to find employees.
But we end this story where we began it, with Dan Kalile.
This isn't the life that we had planned. This is a disruption in what we thought it would be.
What we didn't tell you, Dan is a member of the Williams County Commission. All the changes he says are destroying this town, he's responsible for approving them.
We're not going to leave western North Dakota better than we found it. It's just not possible.
Kalile says 50% of Williston residents who lived here before the boom have moved away, either because they couldn't afford it anymore or they didn't want to put up with it.
I always said I would never live someplace where I had to lock my doors. Now we have no choice.
And in the back of Dan Kalile's mind, what happens to Williston when, like the previous 2 oil booms, this boom goes bust?
This thing could unravel very easily, and we could be left holding the bag again, and I'm sure that we will.